What is happening, guys? We are back with Greedfall. Okay. Let's go find some peoples and things.
Greetings.
We'll find a knout. We'll get a knout to help us. We need to find an alchemist. Actually, let's talk to Afro.
Desade, I'm happy to see you. Can I do anything for you?
I would like you to tell me about Asili.
I was expecting you to come and see me about this. What would you like to know?
Were you aware of Dr. Asili's experiments?
In part, yes. That's why I chose not to be his student any longer.
Why
Good
not
on you.
say anything?
Because I never thought he would go so far. Over time, he became more and more cruel. I found his approach brutal. As if by meeting the natives it deprived him of all humanity. He spoke of them as test subjects, never as people. But there was a time when he was the greatest doctor and scientist in the Alliance. And I clung on to that memory.
You do know that you were captured thanks to him.
Yes, but I thought the natives wanted to trade us merely as prisoners of war. I was blind. And stupid. I regret it terribly.
Do you think, as your master does, that science justifies all
Damn camera.
sacrifices?
No. I may have believed that at one time, without of course ever imagining that we'd resort to such cruel treatment. But Dunkus, you and Siora have opened my eyes to the limits of science. To worship it as we do in the Alliance does not make us better than Teleme.
In your opinion, were the horrors practiced in this laboratory necessary for his research?
No, even if he was convinced of it. General interest outweighs the suffering of a few individuals. He wanted results quickly, to the point of neglecting slower, more humane methods. I hope we'll succeed in ensuring these experiments never happen again.
Would you be willing to testify against Dr. Asili during his trial?
Of course. I was going to talk to you about that. I want to convince my colleagues that we must give up these kind of methods. And even if it costs me dearly, I want my master to pay for what he did. Anything else?
Tell me about your studies with Dr. Asili.
He was not always mad, you know. He was a renowned
I don't think we
doctor
talked to her
back in
about this yet.
Al-Sad. His unusual methods saved many lives, and I was very proud to be amongst his students. He taught me a lot. He was a great teacher. He was strict and severe, but he always pushed us to do our best. It's only when I joined him on the island that I understood that there was something wrong. He seemed changed and completely obsessed with the Malachor. You know it killed his wife and 2 children. He was so shaken by that, he no longer showed any restraint in his research. Such a waste. For the natives he massacred as well as for science.
I must leave you.
Desade, I'm happy. Can I do anything?
I must leave you.
I wonder if you can't do her romance thing until after this whole quest is finished up. I guess we'll see if we get any more reputation with her. But then we would know. I still think it was a glitch of some kind. Because Vasco's, I know I could have done Vasco. But it didn't allow me. Even though I had gone with Sierra at that point, I reloaded and backtracked it.
And let's go!
I'm reloading that. I didn't realize there was a knot being beat up over there.
Is everything all right?
There we go.
Once again, thanks to you. These people wanted to kill me.
They certainly wanted to prevent you from testifying at the doctor's trial.
The doctor will be judged. I suppose you'd like me to testify about how we suffered.
Indeed. If you do not fear another attempt on your life by these men.
Don't worry. I won't put up with intimidation. From now on, my people will watch over me until I can testify. And I intend to witness the execution of our torturer. You can count on me.
Thank you. Your word will be crucial during the trial.
Alright, there we go. In my defense, had I realized that they were beating her up over there at first, she wouldn't have died. Here we go.
I never thought I'd see you here again. Why are you still free?
Dr. Honor made sure that I was set free. He needed my help. What do you want?
I discovered this strange powder in one of the laboratory's chests. Do you know what it is?
I did see the doctor using it once or twice, but I don't know what it is. But I can study it for you if you want. I have the tools that will allow me to do so here.
Alright,
So,
she doesn't hold a grudge.
What is it?
It is a quintessence of black blood. Probably created using the blood of numerous patients. The doctor managed to harness the very concept of the malachor in this powder. A single pinch ingested by someone would be enough for them to be afflicted by the disease. With the quantities that you brought me, hundreds of people could be contaminated. It's terrifying. I cannot believe a silly would do such a thing. Here, these are my notes. I wrote down all the details of my experiments as well as my conclusions.
Thank you. I will relay them to the prosecutor. I must leave you.
Alright. I'm surprised she did that for us. I would have assumed that she would have... No. She would have said no. You were gonna arrest me. You didn't care if I was in prison for life. I would have said no. No, I didn't. Not at all. Wait, this is not where I want to be. I want to go to my house. Which is around here somewhere. Wow, I just ended up back where I was. Isn't my house like right here? Yeah.
Hey! You are the Anolmenawi who freed us. We managed to reach Vikshadir.
They told me what you did for them, Renaigse. Well done. I was able to give them the care they needed. Some wounds will take time to heal, but they are safe thanks to you.
I'm happy to see that they're better.
But you didn't come here for that, did you?
No. I came to ask for your help. The doctor who captured and tortured you is about to be tried for his crimes. He has a lot of support among his people. He's a respected man despite what he did. If we don't have testimony from some of his victims, he will surely be released.
I want him to die, but I'm afraid to go to the Royan City. And how can we trust you? We know what you did to the Donea ex-Regao.
Going to the Lion City will surely be risky. But I am confident. Anolmenawi saved us.
There is a solution. Will you swear on the spirits of your ancestors that they will not be hurt?
Yes. We only want to hear the story of what happened to them, and what they saw there.
Remember your promise. And remember that your ancestors will chase you in anger if you do not keep it.
I will not forget it.
Fine. If you seek revenge on the man who hurt you, you can go with him. You have heard his oath, as have I.
You'll have our words. We'll go to the Grand City and tell our story.
And
Yes.
the Mad Lion will die for causing so much harm to our people.
May the earth engulf him. You can return to Hikmet. I'll make sure they get there in good health.
Thank you, Tiernahach. And thank you all. I blame myself for forcing these poor people back to the city where they have suffered so much.
My people are strong and proud. They will not be afraid to speak in front of your judges for justice.
Good deal. Alright, we have everything ready to go. If he goes for him to be pissed. And I think all this can be avoided if you just kill him. You just kill him. Be done with it. Question them.
You're back. What do you want now?
What is your purpose here?
I helped Dr. Unur to understand the research of my former master. He's the one who became his successor.
I do hope that he doesn't use the same methods.
Of course not.
What about your other colleagues? What's become of them?
They felt guilty. They stopped their experiments and returned to Al-Sad.
What do the other scholars think of Dr. Asili now that his actions have been revealed for all to see?
Most still admire him greatly. He was the greatest amongst us, you know? They didn't witness what was happening in the lab, and they have little interest in the natives. For them, the main problem is political, given that the war against the rebels cost us dearly. Until they understand the horrors that happened there, they will not have any moral issues.
Are you prepared to testify against Dr. Asili?
I would like to say no. You had me thrown in prison.
Damn it.
And without Dr. Unur's intervention, I would still be there. But I can't stop thinking about what we did in that laboratory. I think only by testifying will I ease my conscience.
Thank you. Your story could change the outcome of this trial. I must leave you. What she saw working alongside Asili obviously upset her. She will make an excellent witness.
So it almost did come back to get me. stupid box.
Doctor...
Dr. Honor, what do you want?
What is your role and what is your research topic?
I'm in charge of the governor's laboratories. My main research concerns the Malachor, of course. Above all, we searched for a way to reduce the suffering of the sick.
Searched?
Now that we have access to my colleague Asili's work, it gives us hope of finding a cure.
So the crimes he committed while conducting his work do not concern you?
He will be judged for that. But it would be a shame for him to have done all this for nothing.
What do you think of Dr. Asili now that you've learned how he conducted his research?
Well, obviously the few excesses he has conceded himself are unfortunate, but he remains the greatest scientist that the Alliance has ever known. His work has had a profound effect on science. It seems quite unfair to me to reduce his life's work just to what he has done lately.
If I understand correctly, you will be one of his defenders.
Naturally. I don't deny that he made a terrible mistake, but he meant well. And he was probably acting on behalf of our helplessness to combat the Malachor.
Would you agree to speak at the trial? Your influence could be crucial.
Oh, but I already intended to give a statement. His lawyer came to find me.
So are you ready to defend a man who used to torture and murder to advance his research?
Indeed, because I think the entire work of a scientist should not be judged on a single mistake. It is obvious that he should not have used such methods, but Asili has never been very political. I doubt he understood the implications of his actions.
So you're saying the only problem in this case is political?
Essentially, yes. The war he nearly caused could have been expensive for our governor and the city, but let's not fool ourselves. No tears will be shed over the fate of a few of those bloodthirsty savages.
What interest do you have in defending Dr. Asili? You've obviously taken his place since his arrest. I understand that you admired him a lot, but under his tutelage you could not really impose your own ideas. Well, now you finally have a chance to leave your own mark on history.
You are not wrong, but I find it rather unlikely that he will be sentenced.
I have gathered a lot of damning evidence against him. And with your testimony...
I could finally publish my research on fountain contamination. Very well, you've convinced me.
Yes,
I will
perfect.
now testify for the prosecution. It is true that it's time to turn the page and leave his cruel methods behind.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Honor is an influential scholar. His testimony would convince the judges.
Alright, I think we're sitting pretty damn good. This music reminds me a lot of what you would hear in a JRPG game. I like it. I saw you guys standing up on that fountain. What the hell are you doing?
You have returned, Your Excellency. Do you have any news on our matter?
A Naut victim of Dr. Asili agreed to testify at the trial.
Excellent. This kind of testimony will certainly rattle his defense.
The islanders will testify at the trial. Their injuries will surely convince the judges.
Indeed. But do bear in mind that the islanders are not highly regarded in Hikmet.
I managed to convince the scientists in the governor's laboratory to speak in our favor.
Excellent. These are not direct witnesses, but if they denounce the doctor, we are sure to be heard.
I even got a testimony from one of Dr. Asili's colleagues.
Perfect. That will convince our scientists, and you know how important they are in Hikmet.
Afra, one of Dr. Asili's former students, has agreed to testify.
Excellent. This woman is very respected by the governor. Her statement will carry a lot of weight.
An alchemist studied the powder that we found in the laboratory. Apparently, it's some kind of concentrate made from the blood of several patients with the Malachor. It seems that less than a pinch of this powder is enough to contaminate whoever consumes it. There's enough here to make a small town sick.
A terrifying thought. I will add the analysis and this powder to the evidence on record. You have gathered overwhelming evidence. The defense will have a hard time saving the accused. I think we
Let's
can go
hope so.
to trial with confidence now.
Will the trial begin soon?
It seems to be the right time. Excellent investigation work. I think we have every chance of winning.
Where will the trial be held?
At the palace. I regret to inform you that you will not be able to attend.
Oh,
However,
come on.
I'm sure the governor will keep you informed of the outcome of the proceedings.
Madame, congratulations. The trial was exemplary. Asili's madness was exposed to the entire world. And you have demonstrated the horror of his methods.
Thank you, Excellency. But all praise should be showered upon Sir de Sade. The evidence he supplied was irrefutable.
It was necessary that you hear the victims, in order to understand the extremities to which your science has taken you.
Come now. One cannot conclude that science was guilty here.
Not science, but the savants were. It is never right to set aside humanity in the name of the common good. No knowledge justifies killing or torture.
Your words are wise, and I promise to remember them.
You have not always shown yourself a man of impeccable judgment, Excellency.
We are all, from time to time, victim of our own blind enthusiasm, that is true. But this trial has shaken my usual resolve. It may very well change the course of history.
So in the end, all that Bridge Alliance stuff we got at the end, we definitely could have not slaughtered those natives. My conscience would be at ease. But I'm certainly not redoing all of that. That was a lot of stuff, actually. But good, I'm glad to know we were successful in our endeavors.
Greetings!
Oh shit. Let me get Afro.
Afra, are you certain that you want to attend this?
I do not want to attend. I must.
Dr. Asili, you have been found guilty of all accusations brought against you. In consequence, the Bridge Alliance Tribunal condemns you to death. Do you have any final words?
You treat me like a monster. But how many times have you stayed your own hand? So close to the goal to finally find a remedy, you would have done as I. What do a few lives mean when the future of all humanity hangs in the balance? You are nothing more than idiots, incompetents, and you, Baron, are the greatest hypocrite of all. You know that I am right.
Executioner, earn your pay.
You know that I am right.
Nice.
De Sade, I'm happy to see you. Can I do anything for you?
I must leave you.
Well, we got no more reputation points with her, so whatever. Alright, but he's dead. big fly in my window or something. It's very loud. Alright, back to Constantine. A couple things to update him on.
Constantine.
My dear cousin, I'm always happy to see you. What news do you bring?
We managed to solve the problem of the attacks on San Mateus.
Really? So, what was causing them?
The city and its outposts were continuously being attacked by animals. These beasts were led by a large creature that strangely resembled a mountain guardian.
This is the same creature which High King Vinbar turned into, isn't it?
Exactly. Except it looked sick and it didn't act like the High King did. It was calling the animals around it, and it seemed like it was transferring its disease to them before making them attack. I have never seen anything like it. And there's more. Hikmet was in a similar situation. Do you remember?
Of course. Don't tell me that a Guardian was involved there as well.
Yes. The governor was convinced that the attacks were led by the islanders. And yet they were being attacked as well. And it was by their side that I fought the creature. That time it was a Nardai Glenderman, a beach guardian. But it seemed just as sick. And it was also manipulating the animals to make them aggressive.
So, it would be some kind of epidemic affecting the Guardians. I don't see what we can do about it. Actually, I think you've already done what had to be done, by eliminating those that were threatening our neighbors.
Perhaps. But I'm certain there's more to it than a simple epidemic. These beasts attack in a coordinated fashion, which requires an intelligence that they don't have.
You're exaggerating, dear cousin. The attacks you thought were coordinated may just have been coincidental.
You may be right, but I can't help thinking that someone is behind all this.
Do you really believe that a Donegad would want to take over the island? Cousin, you know how much I respect you, but frankly, this doesn't seem very coherent. And we have other reasons to be preoccupied. Another epidemic, one that concerns us a lot more, remember? You should try to meet this Enon Milflichterman who is so well protected.
I have. It wasn't simple, but I finally managed to enter the sanctuary at the heart of the island.
Really? You should have mentioned it earlier.
The sanctuary is heavily protected. Only a High King can open it.
I remember you saying that Vimbar's death wasn't going to help us. How did you fix this problem?
I had to interfere in the natives' elections and earn the trust of the pretender who seemed to be the best choice.
You really are an outstanding diplomat. My father is an old, bitter man, but he was right about you. Tell me, who did you choose?
Dunkus. He's the king of the village of Vigyigador, and a Donegad full of wisdom.
I'm certain that you have made the right choice. And then what did you do?
I was able to enter the sanctuary. It was an incredible experience.
It had to be. Oh, how I envy you. Entering the most secret places on this island, talking to a god. What does he look like? Is he some kind of very old and very powerful Donegad?
No. In fact, I spoke to an extremely large tree. As strange as it may sound.
Fascinating. And I thought that gods were always old bearded men. Did he tell you where the Malachor was coming from? Is it a curse that he cast upon the first settlers?
No. According to him, we are responsible for the emergence of the Malachor. By exploiting the Earth so much, we have poisoned it. And the disease has contaminated us through the water that we drink and the plants that we eat.
Strange, and yet it seems plausible. So, there wouldn't be an antidote?
He says that the Earth can be healed. That his children know how to do it. I suppose he was talking about the Donegada. He also said that by healing the Earth, we would heal those who live on it.
This is a fascinating revelation. It won't be easy for our neighbors to accept it, however. I'm afraid that even my father might receive it with skepticism. Did he tell you anything else?
No. But it's true that the conversation ended abruptly. An intruder had managed to sneak into the sanctuary, and we had to flee to evade the wrath of its guardians.
An intruder, you say? Then I guess this sanctuary isn't that heavily protected. Your work really is exemplary. The entire continent should be thanking you. But I see it's already quite late. If you will excuse me, dear cousin. Regrettably, I must leave you.
Where are you going?
Not very far, rest assured. But I have a small personal matter to take care of, you see. Don't be concerned. There's absolutely no risk. Use the opportunity to take some rest. You've really performed miracles recently. See you later.
But why would he leave like that? Garth,
Something strange going on
do
here.
you know where my cousin is going?
Sorry, Your Excellency. His Highness didn't tell me anything.
You are one of his bodyguards, aren't you?
I am, Your Excellency. But recently it has been difficult to force His Highness to accept our presence.
Recently? You mean this isn't the first time he's left without an escort?
I'm sorry, Your Excellency.
You better tell me everything.
But Fine. I don't mean to be disrespectful towards him. But His Highness's behavior has been very peculiar recently. He sleeps very little and goes out alone almost every night.
And it didn't occur to anyone that I should be informed?
Well, His Highness had specifically ordered us not to tell you about it.
And where does he go? I thought the days when he used to go from tavern to tavern were over.
He doesn't go to taverns, Your Excellency. From what I know, he goes outside the city.
Where could he go outside the city?
I've no idea. We saw him going north. That's all I know.
Listen, I understand this matter is putting you in a difficult situation. You were supposed to protect my cousin wherever he went, but he refused and ordered you to keep your mouth shut. But Constantine is not just my governor. He's my cousin. I'm worried about him. He's already been abducted once when leaving the city. So, if you know anything else...
I don't really know where he's going, Your Excellency. But I think I know where you could find out. When he doesn't leave the palace, he stays in his office for hours. He writes so much down in there that he could fill entire books. Here, I have the key. Take it. I hope you find His Highness and manage to make him see reason.
I don't like this at all. What could he be doing outside every night?
He never was very reasonable. But it is true that these walks at night are rather suspicious.
I'm starting to believe that the revelations of Enon Miel Frictamen had some truth to them. Let's rummage through his papers. We may find a clue.
This is getting interesting. And I really have no clue where it's going, but I am excited to find out. But we're going to end this episode here, so I will see you guys in the next one.